Hello, everyone, and welcome to another round of Tuesday Night Legacy presented by Spellhold Games. My name's Eugene, and this is round one from March 29th. I just want to mention at the top of the video here that this is actually the 51st video. I forgot to call it out back on that popper video a little while ago. So very exciting. We've been doing this about 3 months now, and we have almost 150 subscribers, about 133 as of this video. So please keep liking and subscribing, especially if this is your first time to the channel. With that, let's get right into this match. For the match, we have Bryson on a 4-color Dack control deck, and we have Jack on his Ad Nauseam Tendrils storm list. This Dack pile, as Bryson likes to call it, has all sorts of random cards thrown into it, but it revolves around Bryson's personal pet favorite planeswalker, Dack Fayden, and it wins through a completely different colored combo of the Witherbloom Apprentice Chain of Smog combo finisher. So, it's got a lot of stuff going on in it. And with Jack, it's just a traditional Ad Nauseam Tendril Storm list. So enough about the decks, let's get into the game action. So we see Bryson starting off here with just a dual land. Most of his lands in the deck are actually dual lands. With that 4-color commitment, there needs to be a lot of different color generation, as we are even going to see in this match. And we actually see Jack fire off a Volcanic Island right back at him. So Volcanic Island versus Volcanic Island action. Not a whole lot going on in the first 2 turns here. So Jack is actually, because he's a storm deck, he's trying to go all off at once. So he has a lot of 0 converted mana cost cards that he's going to be using to try and build up his storm count as much as possible. To have the storm mechanic, the triggered ability off of this card that he eventually pulls out, is going to hopefully win him the game. We actually see him fire off this Burning Wish here, which is going to grab him a card out of his sideboard, instant or sorcery. And it looks like he's going to go and get a Thoughtseize, which is going to help protect this combo, especially because he knows that Bryson runs blue, sees the Volcanic Island, obviously, but takes that Force of Will right out of there to try and protect this turn right here. Holy cow, that was a lot. So 2 Lotus Petals, 2 Lion's Eye Diamonds, and an Infernal Tutor. So Infernal Tutor, this is basically the toolbox card of the deck. Because he is Hellbent, which means he has no cards in hand, he can get any card from his deck. His storm count is currently at 5. Now it's going to be at 6 because Bryson is brainstorming in response. I think he's looking for the answer to either... Well, he can't daze it because I think Jack has at least 6 floating mana, although Infernal Tutor does cost black, doesn't it? Well, he's got that Chrome Mox, so as long as the Chrome Mox isn't used for anything else, then, it's okay, just a slight mistake. So no Force of Will there. We see at least 1 Chain of Smog for Bryson. So this Infernal Tutor going off, going to grab Empty the Warrens. So this is one of the 2 storm win conditions. This is going to make 2 goblins for each spell before it cast, including itself. So that's going to be 7 casts of Empty the Warrens, which means he gets 14 goblins. What is this? Turn 2, turn 3. So 14 1/1s. Pretty tough to deal with. Pretty much 1 turn to take. Since they don't have haste, at least you can take that turn and then probably get 1 more turn after that. Ooh, Punishing Fire. Going to deal 2 damage to one of the goblins. Down to 13 goblins. 2 mana. Think about it. Not entirely certain. It's going to be Expressive Iteration. Very good card advantage for the blue-red players. Getting to see 3 cards off the top. Keep 1, exile the other, 1 to the bottom. Looks like... I don't know if Bryson has the Witherbloom Apprentice in his hand. So we see 13 come across, down to 2, 3, 4. There you go. That sounds right. 5. Okay, now with life totals finally determined. So Jack basically doesn't have anything else to do here, but that's okay. With 13 goblins, this is Bryson's last turn. So he needs the combo finish here, and we actually see he does have it. He's got both the Witherbloom Apprentice and the Chain of Smog in his hand. So a double crack, gonna go down to 3. Has to have that green mana, the black mana, blue, 2 black sources, a green source, and a colorless source. So very awkward color combination, especially for this primarily blue-red deck. So Witherbloom Apprentice, of course, the Magecraft. Every time that spell is copied, it drains the opponent for 1 and you gain 1. And then if Chain of Smog, you can actually just continue to target yourself and that copies the spell. And you can do it until your opponent is dead and that wins you the game. Kind of a newer combo that we've seen recently with the printing of the Strixhaven set. But it has been putting up results. At least it's been around. Maybe putting up results is a strong term. See, not too much happening at the beginning of this game too here. Baleful Strix coming down, drawing some card advantage. We see a Brainstorm on Jack's side. I'm not entirely certain what's going on. But we're going to resolve this Brainstorm here in just a second. I think the players got distracted. This was not late at night, but just a lot going on. I think they were one of the last rounds to play. So we see the Brainstorm resolve, and we are going back to Bryson's turn. We see the Dack Fayden. I think he's going to fire that off this turn. It's that masterpiece Dack Fayden from the Mythic set back in the Return to Ravnica set, I think. Dack Fayden, pretty great Planeswalker. 3 mana gets you the ability to draw 2 cards. Basically, Faithless Looting, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. And it's really good against all of these artifact decks that run all of these equipments. You can steal those artifacts with a secondary ability. I've never seen Dack go all the way to be able to get that emblem, but if you can and you just start cantripping, you can just exile all of your opponents. Oh no, it's the other one. It's gain control of that opponent. Okay, whenever you cast a spell, target 1 or more permanent, gain control of those permanents. That's pretty cool. So I guess if you have the Punishing Fire, you can gain control of all of those creatures that you're targeting with the Punishing Fire, but that would be a grind fest of a game to see that happen. So I think it's more for the extreme advantage of being able to bin so many cards, and then you can get your Uro online faster, maybe get a Punishing Fire into the grave to bring it back. I also think Bryson runs at least 1 life from the loam, so there's a lot of graveyard interactions that can happen. All right, 2 cards to the grave for the Dack. Counting it up, I think we're going to see Bryson cast that Uro back from the graveyard. This is his other win condition. Uro just being a powerhouse of a card in general. Can win games all by itself, even from the graveyard to begin with. Don't even have to get it in play. 4 mana, there he is. Your favorite and mine, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. This big 6/6 boy can just come across and explore for you. Gain some life along the way. Just a great card. We haven't seen a whole lot from Jack this game, so definitely waiting to go off. Not sure what he's waiting for. He's cantripped a couple times. The Thoughtseize isn't super relevant anymore, especially with showing a Force of Will still open in hand. Thinking about this 5 mana. I think he definitely has a Burning Wish in hand, checking his sideboard there. The Storm player often has to do a lot of mental math before they can start actually casting their spells, because once they start going off, it's kind of a one and done. If you mess up, that's pretty much the end of the game for you, especially if you kind of fizzle out. So being a cautious player, making sure that the math is correct. And having to play around a force of will, a known force of will, is also just another piece of the complexity. All right, so Infernal Tutor being used for its actual purpose here. When you cast this, if you do have cards in hand, you can reveal a card from your hand to get a copy of that card from your deck. So reveal the Lotus Petal to get another Lotus Petal. Kind of an easy storm add, and adds extra mana to your pool instead of having to blow away your entire hand like through the Lion's Eye Diamond route. So we see Bryson going in for beats here and just casting a Chain of Smog straight out, targeting Jack. Going to see a Veil of Summer in response. So Jack is going to be able to draw a card if this resolves, and then he's going to gain hexproof for the turn from blue and black spells. So can't be targeted by a Chain of Smog. I guess Bryson is thinking whether it's worth it to let this resolve, because if he gets to have him discard 2 cards out of his hand, then that'll just really cripple Jack's ability to kind of go off. But seeing that Bryson has 2 Force of Wills, not just 1, he decides, okay, fine, you can have that Veil resolve. Since 2 of those cards were Lotus Petals anyway, it's kind of just free storm count. All right, Misty Rainforest going to get a 6th land after a Brainstorm, so kind of setting up for ideal scenario. Let's see if he's going to start off with a Veil, because if he doesn't, this turn's going to be pretty rough. All right, here we go. Lotus Petals down. 3 Lotus Petals, Thoughtseize. And it's 2 Force of Wills. And Jack cannot get around that. He's got the Burning Wish, but wasn't going to happen. All right, that'll do it for round 1. Thanks for joining us. Once again, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to the channel. It's really helping our numbers. And if you're local and in the area, please join us next Friday on April 8th for our Super F&M. It's going to be a single elimination tournament, legacy tournament. And it's going to be great prizing, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So join us then. Thanks.